Hello everybody, welcome to our introduction to the 2023 King of the Hill match. I'm Brent Bishop,
I'm Buck Byers.
We're going to discuss a few things going on with this King of the Hill match. First thing I wanted to discuss is the quality of the course right now. I will say in all my life, and I've talked to a lot of the old timers that are still playing, this is the best this course has ever been. All the credit goes to our past superintendent and our current. Frank and Brian are knocking it out of the park. And I know for a fact that as a superintendent, when you're getting this much rain in July and August, it's tough to be a superintendent. And these greens have never lost their step whatsoever.
I mean, it's crazy how good the greens are. When you play in the mornings, they're smooth, great roll, great speed. You got to be careful if you're above the hole, whether or not you're going to be putting off the green, which I think makes the course even more challenging.
Much.
The rough with all the rain has been hard for them to mow it on a consistent basis. And if you're having trouble even finding the ball out of the rough, which I think is good and perfect for this weekend for this club championship and the King of the Hill for people to showcase their real game.
I agree, and I'll put this up. I will put up our Zoysia fairways against any of them in the greater Kansas City area.
I agree.
We've all played several courses and everything else, and Buck, we're lucky enough to play in a cup match where courses from other play here. When other courses are playing here and saying, what is your membership rate here? And they're going, oh my God, this is a steal. Kudos to Frank and to Brian now. Brian, you have just picked up the gauntlet and just run with it. The course is exceptional. Thank you. I know you take pride in the work, and it's unbelievable how good this course is. Right?
Yeah, and hopefully everybody comes up and sees that on Saturday now at 3:30 for the King of the Hill, so you can get some drinks and see how. I mean, just the view of the course is going to be great, even if you don't really not into golf that much. But it'll be entertaining to say the least.
And I think they are having drink specials during that for the spectators and everybody else. As someone that's been to all of these so far, they've been two, and someone that's been a spectator to all the horse races they've had in the last 50 years, it's just fun to go to it and watch and root people on. So please come out and watch this thing. Buck, you want to discuss the Brassy?
With that being said, the next thing we're going to go over is the Brassy Cup standings, the most important cup in the country. It's an honor to win this thing. I have not won it. I set a goal to win this year, and I'm falling back. I can't get into bonus points on the men's club. Scott Sapp is killing it again. He's got a chance if he does well in the last few events. So we're going to start with the bottom. So we have the top 10 standings here. We go from 10 to 1. We got Delray King with 480 points.
Desert Dog is in the top 10.
I mean, he's played in more men's clubs this year than I think he ever has because of this Brassy Cup.
And I might add, tomorrow is our last men's club. It's hard to believe summer is over.
Yes. Number 9 is Steve McGinnis. So he plays in just about everything that has a Brassy Cup point in it. He's trying his hardest. Mark Rogge is in 8th. He was my Colbert Bash partner on Sunday a couple weeks ago.
By the way, how did your mulligan turn out in the Colbert Bash?
Brent, that's very nice of you to say so, or bring that up. Mark would not want to talk about that again, and he shunned me to talk about that, so I'm not allowed.
Okay.
So you'd have to have him sign an affidavit.
Well, I just heard rumors. I didn't know the facts about it.
In 7th place, truly yours.
Yeah.
Buck Byers.
Oh!
6th place, you got Jeff Deason.
Is this an official?
Is
this official, or are you just writing this up?
I wrote it up 3 minutes ago. So,
okay.
In 5th place, Brad Carter, another guy that plays in a lot of events, and is very shocking that he's in the top 5.
Does he know this?
I don't know.
Don't tell him.
Because he is not a pressure golfer by any means. So if he knows that he's in the top 5, he's probably going to lose.
I'm just going to say, if I were you guys, I would tell him tomorrow night at men's club, hey, you're in the top 5.
And 4th, you got Scott Sapp, last year's winner. So he's about 250 points away, 265 points away. So he's got a lot to make up, but he's still in there. He's got a chance.
And I might add, during the last horse race, if Scott Sapp did not overperform for that night, and clutch.
He was so good that night, and he had the pimp walk going, did he not? I mean, he was on fire. In 3rd place, you got Jared McLaren with 635 points.
Good kid.
Played a lot more events this year than he has in the past. a King of the Hill participant as well. So second place, you got Michael Burkness, who has done really well this year. Another King of the Hill participant. Should be at the top of the list. And this is the most shocking person to be at the top of the...
Is it me? No, it's not me.
No.
It's a B squared though.
It is B squared. Bob Bartholomew.
Wow.
With 870 points.
So do they consider leg length on the first and second? Do they get extra points? Because Bob Bartholomew and Michael Burkness, leg length has to get points.
I think Austin actually docked them points for being too tall.
Oh.
But
Makes sense.
so Bob's got a 75-point lead going into the last men's club, and I think there's maybe the last event I think is the Yellow Ball tournament, which is in November. So that will be the final.
So roughly in a men's club night, and I'm not. What can someone gain? How many points on a good night? Can they gain 50 points?
It depends on the bonus points. 1 week we had the chip into the green, and they had 100-point circles, and I think a couple people had 150 bonus points.
So this is really up in the air.
And I think B squared did very good on that night to get him up there in the top. So with that, let's go to why we're here.
Okay, the King of the Hill, which was started. This is the 3rd year for it, right, Austin?
And let's bring Austin in and talk about this and why we do this.
Come on in,
why
Austin.
he does this, and go over the rules.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the telecast here. The King of the Hill was started 2 years ago, and it was something that I thought was necessary to showcase the great history that we have here at the Excelsior Springs Golf Course and the camaraderie between generations of golfers. And also to continue that legacy for the next generation. I fortunately am one of the, I'm not now, I guess. I'm not one of the youngest, but still feel like I am. I
Not
was
even
on the,
close now.
Yeah, on the tail end of.
You're an old married man now.
Yeah, I know. But when I was growing up, I always felt like there was a really good culture of membership and kind of honor, I guess, among the members here and the players. And you had to, if you wanted to play with the good guys, you had to be good. So there was a reason to practice, there was a reason to play, and you know, I wouldn't say that we've lost that, but it's kind of deteriorated, and maybe that's because some of us have not done a very good job of carrying on that tradition. So that was the goal, that's why it started. It's a trifecta event, or I call it a trifecta event. There's a horse race component, there's a low gross score component, and then there's a skins game as well. So that gives all 10 players that are invited an opportunity to still compete and win. So even though somebody gets eliminated on the first hole, or on every hole for that matter, they still compete and they still play every hole for the low gross and the skins competition.
So there, do you have someone every hole? Someone will be eliminated from the championship.
Correct. If all 10 players show up and,
Yeah.
and are able to play, then yes,
Good.
there will be one person eliminated.
Good. And what time does it start?
It's going to be 3:30 now on Saturday, the 19th of August. We moved it. It was at 5, and then it was 5:30 on Friday. But fortunately, our men's Kansas City Cup team has qualified for the KC Cup playoffs, and unfortunately, St. Joe Country Club decided to pick Friday as the best option available. So thank you, St. Joe Country Club.
So, which means we're going to take it out on them as well.
Yeah,
That's right.
So Austin, let me ask you this on drink specials. Will there be a beer cart out there? What can people expect if they want to come up and just watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage everybody to come up and watch, first of all, and there will be beverage options available. There'll probably be a couple mixed drink options, a beer special, stuff like that, maybe a non-alcoholic drink special as well, for those who don't wish to partake in alcoholic beverages. But it's just a lot of fun, and my goal would be to create an atmosphere for the players to endure. It's not easy to play in front of a crowd, and it's not easy to compete in a competitive event where you're being watched by other people that you don't know. So.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think the biggest thing with this is people tend to play with a group. Every Sunday morning they play with their buddies, right? And this gets them out of that comfort zone.
Yep.
They're not used to playing with maybe even people at their same ability, but better.
Yep.
And it's going to be real interesting to see who steps up and plays well. Like last year, Jaron McLaren was a late addition because we had some people drop out and played really well. I believe he took 3rd.
Yep.
And people, I don't think people knew how good of a golfer he was until that night.
And then I go with one other thing is who you're used to. But what's also when you have 40 to 50 carts or 50, 60 people out there watching you, and aren't golfers, they're just people out there. Some it's your family coming out here. That adds a little pressure to it. It's like, it's tough. Kudos to anybody who plays in these things. It is nerve-wracking.
Austin, what is your, I believe, have you won it both times or just the one time?
So the first year we didn't really know how to crown a winner. Jeff Vineyard actually won the horse race portion, and then I won the low gross portion. So we've now, I think it's only right if the winner is the winner of the horse race.
I agree.
The other two are just additional competitions for people.
Right.
So I would say that I won last year and Jeff won the first year.
Well, and Jeff is a, 4, 5, 6, 8-time club champion? I don't know exactly, but
yeah.
Very good golfer. Very good golfer. Do you get nervous in these? Or is
Well, I think if you don't get nervous, it doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I think everybody gets a little nervous. I will say that in this format, in a horse race format, for anybody who's never played in one, every hole gets a little bit more nervous. You're actually probably the least nervous when you tee off, and you're the most nervous when you finish. There's a lot of strategy involved, and there's a lot of you don't get to, in your traditional round, you might be able to take a hole off or take a shot off, or you don't get that here. If you hit a bad shot, then your next one has to be twice as good as what it should have been.
And my favorite part of it is just because you're knocked out of the horse race doesn't mean you can't still do well.
Yeah.
So if I was playing in it, which we'll never get to play in it, and that's okay. If I was knocked out in the first hole, I'm pin hunting. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make a deuce on 2 and whatever else just to make birdies and try to win some of my money back. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's such a great format is there's no, all right, you're out of it. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming. You know, keep playing and keep grinding.
Well,
I think that's the hardest thing with golf is grinding. And when you learn to grind and put in the hard work to get better, then we're going to see that is when maybe guys don't have their best game.
Yeah.
But they're still going to grind through these 9 holes and try to do everything.
And
they
these
can.
are the best up here. I don't want to see someone eliminated on the first hole and not play anymore, because that guy for 6 more holes may play the best golf he's ever seen. And okay, he went on 1 because, well, maybe par was in a chip off and he lost a chip off. There is a great asset to this golf course. He has been a member of this course since how long is it? 42 years. Marty Albertson. That man has played a lot of golf up here. Really loves this course, is a true fan of golf and this golf course. The guy has been blessed with a great golf game. As you can tell, he is a 1988 ESG club champion. His low round at Excelsior is 64.
Wow.
He has 2 hole-in-ones and is a longtime captain of the South team for the Log Cabin Cup.
Probably his most proud achievement.
Because I believe Tim Jarman is his rival on that, so that's good. He has been a member of the Excel Springs Golf Course Men's Kansas City Cup Championship team that won it in 1996, which that was a great team. You're going to hear some other guys mention.
And
that team.
this is also his 3rd invite to the King of the Hill as well. So great accomplishment. Next we have Jeff Vineyard. This is also his 3rd time participating in the King of the Hill. He was a Mizzou Pepsi Junior champion, so obviously started very young and was very good very young. He has 1 individual collegiate win while a member at UCM. He is a 2009 and 2019 club champion, so he's going to try to three-peat or go for his 3rd this weekend. And he is a 2021 King of the Hill champion. So he knows a lot about this event. And he's a guy that seems like pressure doesn't get to him.
Nope.
I see him on a golf course in the final 9 of the club championship and even the King of the Hill. And he just seems like he's going around his business and just going and knows the course well.
But I think he's a boring golfer. He hits straight balls.
Yeah.
He works the course. He's a course management like you wouldn't believe.
And he's a pin in guy. Some
Yeah.
people will be a little interested to see that. He might be the only, Griffey's in it, so maybe not, but anyway.
All right, next one is Austin Hardison. Austin is a 2012 and 16 club champion. He holds the course record at 63 at Stonehenge Country Club. Very impressive. And recently, Austin won the 2023 Midwest Section PGA Champion, which means now he'll be going to Frisco, Texas in April/May of 2024. This is a huge accomplishment for this young man. This is a doctrine and a pedigree that some golfers never acquire.
So, what's great about this is if people have heard about Michael Block when he played in the PGA Championship, this is the same qualifier that got him into that.
Yeah.
So if Austin goes and places in the top 30, he gets to play in the PGA Championship, which would be a huge honor, and hopefully the city and Orion would allow the golf course to close down so we could all go watch him play in the PGA.
And I think that would be unbelievable. We could all go.
So we're obviously rooting for Austin on that weekend.
Big time. And he's runs the King of the Hill. He started this, a great ambassador for this course.
And this is also.
And earlier we were lucky enough to sit down and have a discussion with Austin. So let's go to that conversation we had. All right, we're here with Austin Hardison, and we're going to go through a few questions. We've done this with a few other people. We've talked about the King of the Hill. First thing I want to do is get your feedback on the golf course. We've done this with everybody. The quality of the course right now. What's your opinion of? Your thoughts on the course right now.
First off, thanks for doing the interview. And the golf course is amazing. I've been very fortunate to play almost not every, but a lot of the country clubs in Kansas City. And I would say for a municipal course like ours, we could compete condition-wise with some of the country clubs in Kansas City, which is really, really fascinating. It's awesome. You know, not many people know about little old Excelsior Springs Golf Course up in the Northland, and hopefully things like this help get the word out and more people travel up. And we've had a great year this year, and I hope to continue that. And I can't thank Brian, our new superintendent, enough. As you guys probably have mentioned earlier, Frank's done an awesome job, but Brian just continues that and has his own twist and things that he does, and they're going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see that, and I hope that he sticks around for a long time, and we have a great relationship moving forward. So,
well, I first want to say thank you for starting the King of the Hill. It's a great little tradition you all started here. I hope it continues on for forever. Like what we're talking about this 30, 40 years from now. And something I wanted to put together in honor of what you started was a list of 9 things, and I want to do this with every buddy that plays in the King of the Hill, and even the club champion. If it's somebody that wins a club championship, which I think that would be great if someone won the club championship that wasn't in the King of the Hill.
Absolutely.
Next year, they're in.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through a few quick questions. Some of them are more in depth, some are real quick. First question is your last round of golf, and I'm not talking you're not going to play golf anymore. It's your last round. You're dying.
This is it.
This is it.
Okay.
Who do you want to play with, and on what course? And it could be famous people, it could be family members, it could be deceased, living, whatever. It's your choice.
Okay, so luckily you asked me this question ahead of time, so I had some time to think about this. So obviously my dad would be in this group. So myself, my dad, Bobby Jones, and a guy that maybe a lot of people don't know of. His name's Chick Evans.
Oh, yeah.
Who was a very notable amateur player back in the day.
Yep.
Obviously my dad, because he started me in golf, and there's a lot of thanks that I give to him for that.
Yeah.
Bobby Jones, because he was kind of a person that grew up in the era of golf that I am a fanatic of. I love the old game, the way it used to be played.
You still play in the Hickory Shaft tournaments, don't you?
Yep. And then Chick Evans has a lot of history here at the Excelsior Springs Golf Course, which I would love to hear stories of.
Don't you have an article from an old magazine from Chick Evans when he played here?
Yeah.
And it was a big draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of Chick. Now, would Chick Evans probably in the 50s?
No, like 30s, 20s.
30s, 20s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're an old soul.
Old soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Good group. Chick Evans, no one's going to pick.
No one's gonna pick him.
him.
Now the course, I don't know what course. I could pick any course, but I would probably say I've never played this golf course, but I think I would love to play this golf course with these guys, and that would probably be Pine Valley.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good pick.
I'll probably never play there in my lifetime, but
You never know.
you never know.
You make the tour.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
never know. You never know.
Okay, this is going to be, with your age, I assume there's going to be several people that did this, but I'm looking for the most influential person that's helped your golf swing.
Okay. So most recently, it would be a guy by the name of Martin Chuck. Martin Chuck is the guy that invented the smart ball. You'll see like tour guys using that from time to time. It's like a little ball. But I had the opportunity actually when I was going through my third and final level of PGA, my program, you had to do a video segment with an instructor, and he was nice enough to have me out to Arizona where he gives lessons. And I got to spend kind of an afternoon working on some short game stuff, and he gave me a little bit of mid-iron, long iron instruction and some of that. So he played a big part. A lot of what he said was very influential in probably the last 2 to 3 years of how my golf game's progressed. And then the other one would be Tim Jarman, who also competing in this event, and kind of my mentor. The best tip he's ever given me still to this day is move the driver 6 inches away behind the golf ball and don't look at the golf ball. So for whatever that's worth, I still do it and it works. So thank you for that.
I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah, because I've never heard that. Maybe I need to try that.
Yeah.
Good answers, and some I didn't expect there. That was good. Any rituals or superstitions when you play golf?
They kind of circulate. So I kind of have like superstitions per round.
Okay.
So I'm kind of weird when it comes to this. If I'm playing,
Oh yeah, you're very weird.
yeah. If I'm playing well, and let's say that I've started the round and on the first hole maybe I've had something to drink or something to eat. If I'm playing well, I will not take another sip or another bite until I stop playing well. And if I'm playing bad, the same thing. I mean, it's kind of a cycle. The other thing is I have a coin that I got about 3 years ago, and it's from Buffalo Ridge. And I don't know why, but on the back of the coin, you could custom stamp like 3 letters. So my wife's name is Luz, L-U-Z. So I put L-U-Z.
Oh, you're married?
I'm married.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful wife.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we've been married for 2 years. You were actually at my wedding. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I was there as well.
Yeah, that's right. I
Buffalo
think I had a
Ridge.
drink with you. then.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a
It
good
was
wedding.
unpleasant. The wedding was great, but the drink with you was not.
Yeah, this King of the Hill is gonna fall on my second.
I was
anniversary.
going to bring
Yeah,
that up.
yeah,
When did you get married?
We
And-
got married on August 19th of, we actually got married on.
You married on the golf course.
Correct, the
Yeah.
day before, and then the next night we had the reception, which everybody came to. But anyway,
Congratulations, Luz, for putting up with him for 2 years. I mean, that's
Wow.
amazing.
Didn't think you could do it.
yeah. So the superstition that I've had as of like the last 2 years, anytime I play in like one of our section events or something, is I always use that coin, and it always starts on the Buffalo Ridge side with the Buffalo Ridge up where I can read it, and then after I make my first birdie, everything else is flipped over and it says L-U-Z up where I can read it.
I'm just going to put my input. You're just not a little superstitious,
Yeah,
Austin.
there's
That's very
yeah,
superstitious.
there's a lot.
From not eating or drinking anything after. But
Yeah.
that's, I think most good golfers. You heard what we interviewed Tim Jarman, and one of he carries 2 dimes in his front pocket every time, and he had one in our interview. He had 2 dimes in his pocket.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I've been fortunate. I played a lot of golf with him in cup matches. Is you can't see the dime when it's on the ground,
No.
and that's very difficult sometimes.
When he used to run the horse races and stuff, that he would mark balls with that, and no one knew where their ball was. It was terrible. So
The only other superstition that I have is that I draw a red arrow or a arrow. It's normally red on my golf.
Always
ball.
on your marker.
Yeah, it's always on there.
okay,
But,
good. I would say that's anything real quick on like your driving range or pre-game or anything like that.
Driving range is always the same, doesn't matter, and I do this different maybe than some people. A lot of people want to hit the club they're going to hit on the tee last, like their first tee shot, that's the last club they use. So I just go, the first 3 balls I hit are with a wedge, and I don't care where they go. After that, I hit probably 7 to 10 balls with that same wedge, actually aiming at something. Then I go to a 7-iron, then I go to a driver, and I probably don't hit more than like 30 balls most of the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a routine.
There's a routine there, yeah.
And that's not more of a ritual, that's just a routine that you do.
Yeah.
The older you get, you'll probably have to hit more balls.
Yeah,
just to get your back
Yeah,
pushing up.
I hit probably 15 or 20 of wedges, and I don't care where they go.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look forward to that.
Age you started golf and why?
So I started golf. Actually, I started golf at the age of 3 in my backyard. My mom cut out, there was this magazine. I don't know what magazine it was, but it had these giant red numbers. So she cut them out, and we had little plastic butter dishes. And she cut those, she like dug a hole and put those. So I had 9 small holes in our backyard, and I had a Ben Hogan,
Wow.
Apex blade, 3-iron and 9-iron, and I would just whack the ball.
No
all
wonder
around
you
the
could
backyard.
learn how to play in those clubs.
And a Ping Eye 2 3-wood, the wooden head. Yeah.
Were these full-size clubs or were they cut down?
So they were cut down, but the way that they were cut down is Dad just broke it over his teeth, and then he put a grip on, and that's what I used.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah.
So just random size this. Well, I mean,
Kinda, yeah. The 9-iron was really short, and it was about the same length as the wood.
Well, it didn't break in a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay, now just a kind of a routine or ritual or superstition. When you putt, in or out of the pin?
Always out. I
Always
can't
out.
stand to putt with a pin in.
Okay.
Anybody who does that is terrible.
Yep.
Bryson.
Now this is just a preference. Your golf courses that you like, links or inland?
This is tough. I really like old school country club layouts. I like big trees. I like smaller fairways. I don't like gimmicky golf courses. So I don't like anything where the fairways get super narrow in spots where you need to lay up. That kind of is gimmicky. But I do like really tall trees, really old. I like anything that has some history with it too.
Okay. Good answer. Real quick, it's not really one of those, but you like desert courses or mountain courses? Do you have a preference on those? Or a lot of people have said, no, I don't like that style.
Mountains over desert.
Mountain over desert.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like the scenery.
Okay. Good answer. I think I know your answer to this, but I don't know. Jack or Tiger?
Well, my answer really isn't on there, but I would guess I'd have to say Tiger.
Okay, that's what I figured you'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah. The Open, the British Open, or the Masters.
Okay.
Now, I'm taking in consideration of everything.
Yes.
Watching it, going there, the conditions of the courses and everything. Which would you choose? Like, I'm going to see one of them. What do you want to watch?
I want to watch, and I want to play in the Open at St. Andrews.
Good answer. I would go the same way. Same way. This is kind of tough for a lot of them because they couldn't pick between certain ones, and this is where we're really trying to narrow it down between just one golfer, your favorite pro. Now you
This
said
is
earlier
hard.
you had.
This is hard.
So you had 3.
I had 3.
Okay, so let's hear the 3.
Arnold Palmer, Ricky Fowler, and Bobby Jones.
Wow, those are 3 different types of golfers too.
And let's remind people that there is Michael Jorman calls you Little Ricky.
Little Ricky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if we narrowed it down to the one.
It had to be Arnold Palmer.
That's a good.
He did a lot for the game of golf, and that I can appreciate that.
And it's still affecting the game of golf.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Now we have an extra question for you. We have a couple of probably extra questions. One is your favorite snack on the golf course.
Ooh, man.
Like when you get a bite to eat,
Yeah.
that time you were talking about,
Yeah.
I take a bite. If I play well, I don't take another bite. What is that?
Turkey sandwich.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah,
Turkey sandwich.
That's so
American
plain.
cheese, turkey sandwich, mayonnaise, and mustard. Yeah, turkey sandwich.
You know,
Mayonnaise and mustard.
you-
That's a pro move.
You know who he's very much like that is. That sounds like a Tim Jarman. Like he just a simple sandwich. So now I don't know if he would do a turkey sandwich.
I've never seen Tim Jarman eat a sandwich on a golf course. It's
No.
always peanuts.
No, but he would be very simple. Very simple. Yeah. So very much like him. And a lot of that's bad. So Allison, thank you for coming with this.
I got one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
So we talked about you qualifying for the PGA event in Frisco. So what are your plans from here until then? How are you going to prepare? What are you going to do? Are you going to travel down there? And obviously you'll have a practice round or two, like the week before. or the week of, but what are your plans leading up to that?
Yeah, so I think we've got a few dates kind of in the works of being scheduled that I can go down and play practice rounds. Fortunately, there's a few people that I know in the area that have either played the golf course or have connections to the golf course. I've talked to their general manager, so I feel like I'm in a good position. I can play it probably 4 to 6 times prior to the event, which will help me a lot. And then the other thing is just trying to get into shape to walk for 7 days in a row.
How old are you again?
I'm 28, but I can't walk 7 days in a row playing golf. So
and the course you're playing down there is, have you ever played it? Have you
No,
ever been on it?
it's,
First time ever? Or?
yeah, no, so it's brand new. They just played the men's senior PGA championship there this last year, and then this is basically where the PGA moved their headquarters. They moved it from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Up
Okay,
in-
yep.
And
What is the name of the actual course?
Put
you on the spot.
Yeah, you did, because I can't think of it right off the Fields Ranch.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's what it's called.
No. On a serious note, also, we're all wishing the best of luck to you on that.
Thank
We
you.
are really pulling for you on this. We're all proud of you, and we're like, this is a good opportunity for you. So we're all really behind you on this, and we want to thank you again for a lot of the history that you're keeping in Excelsior and the King of the Hill. And the King of the Hill is a match and everything else, but the King of the Hill is still a lot about just history.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
remember,
And I think it's something for the golfers here to thrive for, because it
Yep.
is invitational only.
Yep.
And when you do get that invitation in the mail, I can only imagine how great to feel
Yep.
that Austin and the rest of the golf course thinks you're the top 10 at the time of this event. So I'm kudos again.
I think it's amazing they have an 18-year-old and they have a 66-year-old.
yeah. And I think that's your goal, right?
Yeah,
Is that
absolutely.
we need
It's the
younger
history
players.
of it and getting them in there.
The biggest thing for me is that hopefully there's a young kid that comes to watch and maybe plays golf or doesn't play golf, and he sees that he can do that one day or she can do that one day, and they make that happen.
Well, thank you, Austin.
No problem. Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah.
Third time.
Yes.
Now,
All right, next up we have Bill Griffey. He is a 2-time club champion. He is a 4-time Missouri amateur qualifier. His lowest round is 66, which is pretty impressive. This is his second appearance in the King of the Hill. He will also be the best dressed participant. There is no doubt about it.
Yep.
He will match from head to toe.
Yep.
Glad you're playing, Bill.
Bill, quality golfer.
Bill
You never,
quality, yeah.
you never know what you're going to get with him in terms on the course. He could just light it up. I wouldn't doubt if he's not holding the trophy at the end of this thing.
You want the opposite of Vineyard. He is not boring.
Nope.
He is going to be talking. He's going to be having a good time. And,
Yep.
very, very fun to watch Bill.
Speaking of someone in Tim Jarman.
Not boring at all.
Not boring, but he has a mentality when he goes to these things. He can get very serious on these things, and I know for a fact he wants to win this thing. He is 66 years old and competing with these kids. He considers this quite a trip for him to go out there and do this. He is a 1975 and 75 club champion, captain of the University of Missouri golf team from 76 to 79. Quite an accomplishment. Finalist in the 1980 Heart of America 4-ball, turned professional in 81, Play of the Year in Midwest Section PGA in 95, Midwest Section PGA Match Play Champion in 95, winner of the multiple Midwest Section PGA Pro-Am Championships 95 to 2001, member of the 96 KC Cup that they won the whole thing. Tim's list, his pedigree goes on forever. You just got to stop reading it.
Right.
Don't count this guy out.
No.
Or Saturday.
Obviously, you had the chance to interview him earlier, and just his passion and the way he talks about wanting to win. Every time he goes out and plays, wanting to win. So, and you'll get to see that right after this.
Yeah. Hello, this is Brent Bishop, and I am here with Tim Jarman, the head pro and manager at Excelsior Springs Golf Course. And we're just got a few questions we want to go over with Tim, a little bit of his past, a little bit of his present, a little bit of what the future is here. So, Tim, thank you for coming here.
You're welcome.
My first question is this. The condition of the course right now, how do you rate it?
I would rate it as a 10 on a scale of 10. It is awesome right now. We're very blessed to have Brian Agler as our new superintendent. He has taken over from Frank Conrick and never missed a beat. The golf course is spectacular. I never thought I'd live to see it be in this kind of condition, especially in August.
Okay, you've been here for how many years?
I started in 1982 working here, and I started playing golf here in 1966.
So if you were to, I know that it's hard to say one thing, what are some things you think they've made improvements to this golf course in the last 40, 50 years?
Well,
that you think has contributed the most to the
correct.
quality of
The Zoysia fairways were number one in my opinion, and the water irrigated fairways and tees. That when I was growing up, it was just bluegrass, and of course it burned out this time of year. Tee boxes, everything. So when they put in the Zoysia fairways and the irrigation system back in 1993 and 2001, along with a couple of the redesign of the greens helped. But I'll tell you, the one thing that's helped almost as much as anything are the fans they put in back in 2000, I don't know when, 10 or 15. Those have really helped on this facility to circulate air on troubled greens from day one. I mean, the greens that they're on now, we've had trouble with as long as I can remember, and it's really helped.
And I think the speed of the greens are just perfect.
Yeah, the golf course is spectacular. It really is.
You're going back to the old days of golf. What year and what did you shoot, your course record, and who did you play with that day? Can you remember that?
The course record of 61 was shot the day after the club championship, in which Kurt Shawver won it, and I don't remember the exact date. I do remember the day after the club championship, and the pins were identical. I played with Bob Delano, Derek Willamette, Barry Dale, and there may have been another one in there. I can't remember.
Wow.
And it was one of those days where I was just hotter than a pistol.
And Derek was probably playing from the senior tees at that time, wasn't he?
He very well could have been, yes. I can't remember. He might have been the superintendent then.
What year would it have been?
Boy, I don't remember. I just don't remember.
Okay.
And he might not have been. I don't know. Of course, Bob Delano's dead now, and Barry to play the golf. But I know those three for sure, and there may have been another one.
And that's what brings me to today's, with the quality of the Zoysia, the fairways, and you were talking, do you think your score will ever be beaten?
Well, some people said we ought to have another course record because the course is nothing like it was then. That was pre-Zoysia, and it was pre-watered fairways, I think. With technology and the talent that's around, yeah, it'll probably be broken. But that's
really
what
think
records
so?
are supposed to be. They're supposed to be broken.
And I don't think I think it makes a little difference on the length, but you also, back then, you had to learn how to play that dryness.
Yeah, that's a good
That
point.
ball went everywhere.
The
on
yardage is the same. The golf course hasn't really been extended on tee boxes. It was blue then and white then. Now there's tees that are shorter now than the course was back in that day, but the blue tees really are identical to the way they were then.
But then also you had some very difficult holes, greens.
Yeah.
5 green.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
6.
That's a
If
good
they were
point.
Club tournament greens, those were some treacherous greens.
And real small, and of course a lot smaller now. And of course technology, drivers that were this big around.
Yeah.
You know, yada yada. But it was.
Do you miss any of the old greens? Like 5 or 6?
Nah, probably not. It's moved on. I played them a million times when I was growing up, but I know I don't think back about them at all.
Okay.
I just like healthy greens, and that's what we have now.
And who the new superintendent is? Brian. What is his last name?
Agler, Agler. He came to us from Staley Farms.
Yeah, he is doing an excellent job.
He is doing an excellent job.
My next question is, I kind of wrote up some questions I'm going to ask to all. It's not just the King of the Hill champion, but I want to do all the club champions, the King of the Hill participants, and just anybody that's playing golf now that's in the upper league. And I wrote up these list of questions, and there's about 9 of them. So I'm going to ask you these.
All right, go right ahead.
The first one is this: you got your last round of golf. I mean,
right.
The day after you play, you're dead.
Okay.
Who do you want to play with? They can be living or deceased. They can be famous. They can be just.
All right.
And where do you want to play?
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. All right, I think I would play with Bobby Jones, Seve Ballesteros, Jack Nicklaus at the Masters.
Okay, I got it. Why Seve?
I've always kind of liked his game. Of course, he's deceased now as well, but I've always just kind of followed him when I was growing up, and I liked his competitiveness. I liked his grindness. I liked how he played golf. And he's a lot like me. We were kind of hit it all over the place, but we could putt and chip pretty good.
And he was a little older from me, but he had a lot of style and charisma on the course too.
He had a lot of charisma. Yeah.
Let's see. The second question is this: Who has helped your golf swing the most?
I'd have to say people I grew up with, which would be Bill Holden and Bob Delano Sr. would probably be the biggest.
Out of those two, who is a better golfer?
Pretty consistent. Maybe Bill. Boy, I don't know. Bob Delano. That's a good question. I will say you. I think. I don't know. I don't know if either one of them.
I remember both of them, but I didn't remember Bill Holden being that good. He was a pretty good golfer.
Yeah, he was a pretty good golfer. I'd say he might have been more consistent, but probably couldn't shoot as low as scores as Bob did. I don't. That's a good question. I don't know. They're both pretty good
Yeah,
golfers.
Bill Holden was the old owner of the
Wide Bow and Alley.
Is
Yes.
he a good bowler too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was. He's a very good bowler.
Good answers. Any rituals or superstitions? Anything
Oh yeah.
that you?
I carry 2 dimes in my front right pocket all the time.
Now, how did that? Now,
I don't
how
know.
long have you? Can you tell me how long you've been doing that?
About as long as I can remember. I started when I was playing golf. I'd mark my dime, mark a ball with my dime, and then I'd invariably have to give somebody in my group, like a Bucky Byers, that would forget a ball marker. I'd give him my other dime, and then I'd always have one left.
Okay, would Bucky Byers return the dime?
A lot of times I didn't get my dime back from a lot of people.
Okay, I don't want to offend him. But
No.
Yeah, I can see
that happened quite often.
Yeah.
I always carry 2. I
Always.
don't even care if I'm playing golf. Like right now, I got 2 dimes in my pocket, and I'm not playing golf. Front right pocket.
Okay. All right. Now, you don't carry any other ball marks at all.
No.
You don't do the big silver dollar
Nope.
ones
I
that
don't do
people are carrying?
magnetics. I don't do anything. No.
Okay, that's
I do
old
not.
school.
I want nope.
Okay, I got to ask you on rituals on. Do you have any rituals on the driving range before a round of golf? Like you hear where certain pros hit 20 clubs, 20 balls of this club or this. Do you do anything like that?
I'm not sure I'm consistent on a ritual, but it'll always be a sand wedge, 7-iron, hybrid driver.
Okay.
I don't have an X amount of balls per club, and I never go back after the driver is the last club for the most part.
Okay.
And then putting chip.
And on the putting and chip, what kind of putter do you use right now?
Right now I have a Scotty Cameron. I've been known to have a lot of putters.
Yeah. Do you have a?
This
what's it
is
called?
my buddy Eldon Lewis's putter when he passed
Good
away.
old Eldon. Miss him every day. All right, let's go back a little bit. Age you started playing golf, and why? Can you remember why you played
Yes,
golf?
I can. I was 9 years old, and my mom and dad moved up to Golf Hill, right across the street from the golf course, so it was just convenient.
That's it.
That's it.
Did you do any other sports growing up?
Basketball, football for one day, wrestling, mainly just
You
basketball.
played
golf.
basketball intramural for
Yes.
till you were.
I played a lot of
50s.
basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball is actually my favorite sport.
Here's an easy one. When you're putting, pin in or out.
I'm an out guy.
Okay. Do you mind the new rule with you can putt with the ball in?
Doesn't bother me one bit.
Do you think it increases play or slows down play at all?
Nope, I don't think it does either one.
Okay, this is a tough one. Links style golf course or inland?
I'm gonna cheat both. I've been fortunate enough to play in Scotland and Ireland, and I've been fortunate enough to play a lot of good courses in the United States, and I like them both. I like them a lot.
Okay,
both.
I'm going to throw in this then. Links, inland, desert. Do you?
Desert's my least favorite.
Okay.
Least, but it's not even close.
It's the last.
way in.
You're just going there for the weather.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct.
Jack or Tiger?
Jack Nicklaus.
Okay. Is it even close?
Nah, I just grew up with Jack. No, not really.
The Open, which Austin asked me, is that the British Open or U.S. Open? If you say the Open, that's
It's
the
British now,
Open.
yes.
Yeah. Or the Masters. Now, this is a very vague in terms of going to it, watching it on TV. I'm invoking everything into it.
Okay, well, playing
Weather, who's playing in them, everything. If you could just
I've
say
been fortunate enough to play some of the open courses. I've never played the Masters, so I'm gonna say the Masters.
in terms of that's your.
I want to
okay.
go to it, see it, yeah, play it.
Favorite pro golfer of all time?
That's a good question. I'm
And-
gonna
and-
say Jack Nicklaus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why Jack Nicklaus?
I never will forget to the day I die the last round he played at the Masters in '86 that he won.
Yeah.
It was pretty. That just made an impression on me. So I'm gonna go Jack Nicklaus. He was 40-some years old, 47, real old.
Yeah.
Or older than
Very good. I don't have any other questions. Do you have any other comments for us?
I can't think of it. It's awful nice of Austin to put this King of the Hill together, and appreciate you two doing
Okay.
the interviews. No, the golf course is going to be in good shape. I know we've had to move the King of the Hill for some conflicts and scheduling, but it ought to be quite an event. I know it's going to be hot, but this weather we've been having has been awesome. And
My cameraman brought up another good question. Your experience with King of the Hill, your opinion of it, how you've played in it, what you think your shot is this year, and the competition.
Okay, that's a good question. I've played in 2 of these, I guess. We've had 2. And it's kind of fun to compete against the young people. My expectations aren't very high, but I hope they don't discount me, because I could be the diamond in the rough, you might say.
I don't think any of those guys discount you at all.
It's getting to the point at 66 years old, it's getting where blue tees will stretch me out quite a bit. So
Okay,
I'm
now,
giving up a little distance there.
excluding yourself, if you had to say a wild shot out there, give me 2 or 3 that you think are going to be top runners on this thing. If you think, okay, this guy, and this guy is going to be tough to beat.
Well, I'm going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I said excluding you.
Oh.
I said that the first thing. I said including you. But I appreciate you listening to the questions so well.
Excluding me, I think I'm going to be the toughest to beat.
Wow, you're going to stick. All right. Well, now I am done now.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Mr. John.
you're welcome.
On to the next competitor in the King of the Hill for 2023 is Michael Berkness. This is his 2nd appearance in the King of the Hill. He is also, I believe, the tallest participant in the King of the Hill. His lowest round is a 66 at Hidden Valley Golf Course. He is, I think, a very underrated player. He plays in a lot of cup matches, plays very well, and has got an awkward swing that I would not teach, but it does very well for him. And being that tall, I couldn't imagine what you would have to do to be able to hit the ball straight. But
Yeah. I agree. You don't count him out. Anybody in this format.
absolutely.
Don't count him out.
And like we talked about earlier, just the guts to go out there and play in front of everybody and,
Yeah.
and try to compete tells you all you need to know about
Yep.
Michael.
Yep.
So
Next participant is Tyler Berry. He is the low career round is 64, pretty good round. He's got 1 hole-in-one and a bar tab of $3,300 plus dollars. Yeah, I thought 3,000. I was like, where did he get the 300 plus? He's a good stick too. I mean, this guy could light it up. You never know what he's going to do.
I didn't know anything about him until he played in the Shot in the Dark a couple years ago, and then he played in the King of the Hill, I believe, last year. This is his, I believe, 2nd participation.
And didn't they win the Shot in the Dark?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They played very well.
And they come out of nowhere. It's like, who the heck are these?
So I do believe most of the players got to pick their picture that went in this. Not all of them, but if you can see this, I want you to look at this. And does that not look like a profile picture for a dating website?
It looks like it. Yeah.
Tyler, good luck with that dating. I hope it goes well.
He is age 39. If we want to put that out for his dating website, he is
But
39.
congratulations on your participation
Yes.
in the King of the Hill.
Good luck, Tyler.
Next up, we have Canton Woods. This is his first participation in the King of the Hill and the youngest, I think, of all 3 years of any participant. He is a 2-time state qualifier, and his low round is 69. Pretty good for a young kid. He's got his senior year left to go in high school, and so and now you will talk to Canton.
Yep.
From earlier.
We
today.
had a nice visit with Canton. We'll go talk to Canton right now. All right, I'm Brent Bishop here with Canton Woods, another member. Now, this is Canton Wood who's going to be playing in the King of the Hill this year. Is this your first year at the King of the Hill?
It is.
Are you excited?
A little excited, a little nervous. Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to start off with a few questions.
Yeah.
So it's somebody that I've asked these to other past participants, and I'm going to plan on doing this in the future to all of them.
Okay.
Some of them are real quick, some are not. So you got to think about it a little bit. So we're going to jump into this real quick, and then I got some questions for you about your history, the quality of the course, your expectations at the King of the Hill. Have you watched it in the past? I'll go back to that later,
Okay.
but we're just going to jump real quick into these questions.
All right.
All righty?
Sounds good.
First question is, last round of golf, and I know, how old are you, Kenton?
18.
Okay. It's your last round of golf. It's hard to get a perspective when it's going to be your last round of golf.
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking last round like it's like you're going to quit golf. No, you're going to die.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Last round of golf. Who do you want to play with? Famous or not? Family, dead or alive? And where do you want to play?
So is this one person or is this a foursome?
We're gonna, well, they only allow fivesomes here, so it's got to be a foursome.
Okay.
So if you
All
choose here, but if you come up with 4 other persons and you, I'll allow it. So
Okay.
you got to choose
Okay.
what Corso.
Augusta,
Augusta, good
course.
start.
of course. Then we're gonna start with Tiger. Gotta
Tiger,
start.
why Tiger?
It's the goat. He's the goat.
Okay.
And oh God.
Oh, we got a phone down. All right, the goat. Okay.
Yeah. And I love him. I love
Right.
him. Saw him win the Masters. That was just amazing.
Okay.
Loved it.
Can you give me another one?
John Daly.
Okay.
Gotta go John Daly. Gotta have you gotta have the fun. You gotta have the fun in the last round.
That's
Yeah.
to have them two with your last round.
Yeah, hey.
That's a good one.
Hey, and then you gotta go with old Grandpa. Good old Grandpa. He's the one who made me start golf. Gotta go with Grandpa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now is Grandpa still alive?
He is.
Good.
He is. He's
Uh,
still golfing.
Still golfing.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So Tiger, John Daly, your grandpa, and you
Yes.
at Augusta.
Yep.
That's
the round.
You're the first one to do that. You've mixed professionals and the greatest
Mhm.
with family members. No one else has done that.
Gotta
They
mix it
either
up.
went with famous people or they went with family. So
Little
first
bit
one
of
to do
each.
that.
A little bit of each.
This is gonna be tough for you. Who has helped your golf swing the most?
Probably Brendan Cooper. He's my swing coach.
Okay. By far, what do you think how long has he been working with you?
A little less than a year.
Okay.
A little
And
less than a year.
taught you more, and are you still working with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Taught you the most.
Probably.
Good. Any rituals or superstitions?
Not at all. I hate that.
What do you mean you hate that?
I don't think there's anything.
Nothing?
I used to have one. It was before every high school round. I would get strawberry donut holes. I had to. I had to.
And you did it
Every single tournament, I got strawberry donut holes. Then I had a bound around, and it never happened again.
Really? Now, where did you go get strawberry donuts?
Quick Trip. We stop at Quick Trip before every tournament. You got to.
You know, I have to
to.
admit, as a fat boy, I like that ritual.
Exactly.
Strawberry donut.
Yep.
You know, if they carried strawberry donut holes, they may make a killing up here on just you and I.
I'd go broke. I'd go broke for sure.
Okay, now you say no rituals. When you go to the driving range, do you have any certain things you do like before a tournament or before a match? Do you have certain clubs?
Yeah, I always start with my wedges, of course.
Okay.
I always start with the wedges, then I go to a mid iron, and then I usually hit a few long irons. I don't like to hit a ton of long irons because then the confidence starts to go down. And then you gotta hit the driver. Gotta hit the driver, and then I like to play the first hole. I always
Okay.
play the first hole. What I would want to do on the first hole.
That's
Yeah.
the first time that's been said. So that's a kind of a neat concept. So whatever course you're playing, you hit driver or whatever, and then that's good. How much time do you usually spend on a putting green when you practice?
Not enough.
None.
Not enough.
Good answer.
Yeah.
What age did you start, and why?
So, when I was really young, I didn't play golf seriously. I would just go out sometimes and hit balls with my grandpa because I was a baseball guy. I played baseball, and then I threw out my arm, and I started playing golf, and I fell in love. So I think it was around 13 or 14 I really started picking it up and playing.
What age was you playing when you wouldn't take it serious? I mean, very young.
I mean, very young.
you
yeah.
don't even remember.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would just, I wouldn't even play. I'd just go to the range and just hit like my driver.
Now, do you pretty much stay just with golf now? Is
Yes,
that your sport?
That's my sport, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. The pin when you're putting, in or out?
I mean, you're crazy if you keep it in.
Okay.
But you
Whoa,
gotta
whoa,
keep
whoa,
it in.
whoa, whoa.
No, but there's a certain thing. From a distance, if you can't see it, if
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
ridge,
yeah. I'm talking just.
If it's a 5-footer straight up the hill,
Okay. All right.
it's coming out.
All right. Now this question, you don't have a lot of experience with these, so I'm going to
Mhm.
ask you: links or inland?
Inland, because
Okay.
I've never played a links course.
So, but you like that the
I
aesthetics
do,
of it?
yes.
Yeah.
And links are known for having like really hard greens where you got to run it up, right?
Mhm.
I like to spin it. I
Okay.
like to spin it.
Well, good answer.
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods? I'm going to say it's Tiger Woods.
Yup.
The British Open or the Masters?
So it's always been Masters, but I feel like the last couple of years I've liked the Open more. But I think I'm gonna still stick with the Masters.
Okay, now I'm taking into consideration not only just watching it, but where you would like to go play or go watch the tournament. I'm encompassing everything, like that is your mecca. Like, that is my big goal. That's where I want to go. Still the Masters?
I think I got it. I think you got to say the Masters.
Okay.
Very common. Just because a lot of people know that don't even golf, but I don't think everyone knows the Open.
Yeah.
But,
and I think it's much more American. Yeah. Good answer. Favorite pro golfer? I assume it's Tiger, or is there somebody in the
It's
past?
Tiger, but I'm a big fan of Ricky. But
Really?
I'm gonna say Tiger, but like right now,
Yeah.
I'd say Ricky.
Kind of a comeback kind of thing, what he's going through. Good.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's very good. All right. Right now, you're getting ready for the King of the Hill and the match and everything going on with it. What's going on in your mind right now in preparation for King of the Hill? First round, is there nervousness for it? Are you worried about it? Or you know the format, of course, and how you keep playing and everything else. What's your opinion of it?
So I think the idea of it's awesome. I think it's a great idea, and I love that we're doing it. But I don't know. I am definitely nervous. Definitely nervous. But that's what I'm trying to. That's the main thing coming in. I'm trying to chill on my nerves a little. Try and stay a little, not get too jittery.
Now,
And Austin's got me hitting first, of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're number one?
Number one.
Oh,
So,
mercy.
yeah.
So, but actually, that's good. You get it out of the bag. Go to the driving range and play number one, like you said.
That's true. That's true.
Good.
I'd like to be number two. Number
Really?
two. You can see the first person hit. I do not want to be last. That shot in the dark. I was last, and that was terrible. I hated that.
Okay. Do you have a favorite memory or history or something that's happened in this golf course? It's like, I'll never forget that.
I was on hole 13 at
Okay.
Excelsior.
Okay.
It was me, my two brothers, and my grandpa. He hits a shot. I thought it was on the green. Good shot. Hits the front of the green, starts rolling up,
Oh, no.
drains it.
No kidding.
Drains it hole in one. And I could say a few of those because I've been with my grandpa for 3 hole in ones.
Wow.
And 2 of them were at Liberty Hills and 1 here.
That's a good story.
Yeah. It was just really fun. I started running. He did not run. He got on the golf cart. It was awesome though.
That is a good story. Now I'm going to ask you. I've been asking everybody what's your thoughts on the condition of the course right now.
Oh God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best it's ever been
Yeah.
since I've started playing here.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, the greens especially are in great shape.
Brian, the superintendent's doing an excellent job.
Yes, he's doing so good.
And I think this club, with the club championship and the King of the Hill, it's going to be a great rounds in terms of what they're bringing in and everything else. I got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
I want you to think hard about this first one.
All right.
Best snack you have on the golf course?
Got to go with the hot dog, right?
Okay.
I
Good
mean,
answer. Good answer.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
You have to.
All right. Now the second one you may not have
Yeah.
much idea on it, but future plans. And
plans.
I'm not asking
As in
everything. Golf, career, life, education, school. What's your plans?
Well, I'm gonna finish my senior year. Gonna do my senior year in high school for Kearney. And after that, we'll see what happens. We'll see if I continue playing golf or not. If I don't, there's a very good chance I go to Mizzou.
Okay,
Very
good.
chance. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good enough to go play at Mizzou.
You don't think so?
They have 1 freshman a year probably come in, and the last years was from Iceland.
Would you go somewhere else and play ball though?
It matters. I don't know. I don't know.
If you'd rather go to Mizzou
I
versus.
want to go to a big school. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Well, good for you.
But
I hope you stay
but we'll
with it.
see. We'll see.
So now that we'll go back to the King of Hill, what's your thoughts? How are you going to do?
So of course, I want to go in and win. I feel like that should be everyone's mindset. But let's just be fair. There's some good golfers there.
Yeah, but you're
Very
one of
good.
them.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just want to play a few holes in the horse race.
So if I were to say, Canton, you made it to hole 6, it was a successful round. You're going to say,
Hole 6?
Yeah.
I'd say I'm not mad about it, but
Yeah.
if I've made it that far, I wish I would have gone farther.
you're going to say, because you're going to say, I made it past 4.
Yeah.
I want to win the thing now. Because you're going to get in a groove
Exactly.
after
Exactly.
after 2 or 3 holes. You get in a groove and you're going to win the thing.
Especially, I feel like I'm gonna be mad the way I go out.
Let me ask you one last question.
Okay.
What's your strongest part of your game?
Probably my approach
Really?
or my putting right now.
Oh, that's what'll win the King of the Hill
It's
for
not
you.
the driver though.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not the driver.
just keep
I kind of think drivers. Personally, I think driver is one of the most, if not the most important club. in
I
the
think
bag.
it's crucial to keep it in play
Mhm.
and between the trees.
Yeah,
Now,
a lot
if-
of trees here.
Stay out of the trees and out of penalty, and
Yeah.
you can win this thing.
Yeah,
So
I'm try.
sounds good, Canton. Thank you for coming with us.
Thank you.
And good luck to you. I'm rooting
Thank
for you,
you.
buddy.
Thank you.
Our next participant is Chris Delano. Chris Delano is 52 years old, and we did a fact check on it.
51.
What?
He's 51.
He doesn't look. Okay. He was a conference player in 1990. His low round here is 68, and he also has the he has the Guinness record for the golf club throw.
The
longest
Longest
record.
club throw in
Now is that in Guinness? I mean, is it a record?
It is. You can look it up.
Okay. Was that at Excelsior?
Yes, of course it was.
Congratulations. In my opinion, this guy could win the thing too. I mean, it really comes down to hits the fairways and hits the greens and makes putts. This guy, he could do it.
He's going to get after it. There ain't no doubt about it.
Oh.
I mean, he's going to try everything he can, and I think he'd be disappointed if he didn't win it.
I think this is the kind of guy that says, you know what, I'm gonna go all out
That's right.
from T1. So
And we talked about it earlier that if he happens to go out early, look out, because this is the guy that could go pin hunting and really make some birdies.
oh yeah. So let's go. We had a chance to talk with Chris earlier. Let's go to his interview real quick. All right, Brent Bishop with my co-host there, Buck Byers, and we're here to interview Christopher Delano here for the King of the Hill, and just to get a little insight into the mindset of Chris Delano. This could be difficult sometimes.
Sometimes I want to know my mindset.
We had an interview earlier. We talked to another member of the King of the Hill, and we had threw some questions at him. So we're going to start off, I think, with that.
Yeah,
and then
I have
we'll
a
dive in.
question real quick.
Okay.
So this is your first time
First
participating
time,
in the
correct.
King of the Hill, which I think is a great event. I think it absolutely showcases the best players at our golf course that are members here. Just how does it feel to actually be invited to an event like this at your home course that you grew up playing and have played as many rounds as maybe anybody but Tim?
Yeah, I've played quite a bit here. I've mowed every piece of grass on this course. I've played in the dark. I've played in the day. I was surprised when I got the invite. I didn't know what the qualifications were, and so I got it in the mail. It was very official, very fancy. Well done, Austin. And I was a little surprised. I think I even texted some people. I was like, are you sure this is right? So I'm excited to play and a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and obviously, I think it would be very nerve-wracking, but I think once you get rid of those nerves, you will showcase to everybody how talented you are on the golf course, with some monster drives, and maybe I don't think, but I think a lot of people are calling for you to throw a few clubs, and I don't see it happening in an event like this.
No,
So some people might be disappointed, but good luck, and I will be betting on you for sure, because I think you are well deserved to be here.
Well,
So
I
and
appreciate it.
congratulations.
I agree totally, and I guarantee you there's going to be some money wagered on your horse that I think you're always a chance in there.
The only wager I want on my horse is whether or not he goes to the glue factory. I mean, this is a horse race. I'm the one that's trying to stay out of the glue factory.
Good, Buck. That's a good intro to the King of the Hill, and I agree with him totally. I'm very, very glad that you're in it. It's well deserved.
Thank you.
And I just wrote up a bunch of questions, and we're answering everybody that's involved in King of the Hill, and I'm wanting to do even club champions each year and get their input on this. And it's something I hope we can keep every year.
I think it's a good idea. That's a great idea. There's nothing I'd love more than to look back at what Dean Barry had to say. You know, at the first championship to his 8th or 10th or whatever. Right?
You have a family full of golfers. Wouldn't it have been nice to see these questions that your dad would have answered something like these 50 years
for
ago?
his C-Fly championship. I still have that trophy somewhere. We used to get trophies.
Yeah, I remember the trophies. Yeah. So a lot of these are going to be a little more thoughtful. Some of them are going to be a yes or no real quick.
Okay.
So we'll get started with, like I say, we've asked other people already, so we're going with the first one. Last round of golf that you'll ever play. Who do you want to play with? They can be living or deceased. It can be family member. They can be famous. They can do whatever. And where do you want to play?
This is my last round, and it's only one round.
One round.
And
anywhere I
Austin said
want.
you can have a fivesome if you want to put a fivesome.
Yeah.
in.
So I didn't put in a fivesome earlier because if we played at Excelsior, you
Couldn't have
couldn't
that.
play
No,
here.
you can't.
But he did say if it was my last round, he
That's a
would
good
play
question too. Who would I leave in the clubhouse if I showed up with 5? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to play back in the next group.
Okay, that's going to be a question for next year. And if you did invite 5, who would you leave in the
Who
pro
would
shop?
you leave in the pro shop?
Sorry,
when Tim
we're full.
Jarman said we don't allow 5s.
Sorry, Tiger, you can't play.
Tiger, you gotta stay here, bud. We'll see you. Number one for sure is Bill Murray. He's my
Good.
all-time hero, and he's just a legendary golf character.
Oh,
You know, he's played in so many tournaments. So Bill Murray's number one. He's my cart partner for sure. I think I'd have to play with Watson. Good Kansas City guy. And number 4. Well, let's see, if it's me and Bill, he can't play with anybody good. No, I think this is more of a team event, so I guess my 4th would be Tiger. You've got to play with Tiger. He's the greatest of all time, probably.
and this is a tough one. Where would you want to play?
I would play the Masters for sure. Augusta National. I mean, that's a bucket list thing, and it's something that almost no one gets to do.
A lot tougher than even the British Open.
And, I mean, there's most of those courses. If you have enough money, you can get on. The Masters, Augusta National is not one of those, so that's a no-brainer.
Okay. This one, I think it's going to be it could be quite a few people. Who has helped your golf swing the most in all your life?
For sure, my dad started me, and so I mean, he gave me the basics, but I quickly burned through his knowledge and went straight to the wonderful Tim Jarman,
Okay.
who taught me everything I know about the golf swing, basically. And what I tried after I left his tutelage, so to speak, I tried to do the opposite of what my brother did. My brother had really good swing, went to college, and it let people mess with him, and it kind of hurt the swing. So I tried to just stick to what I knew and kind of self-taught based off of what Tim taught me.
Good.
So I would say Tim Jarman for sure.
Okay. Any rituals or superstitions?
You know, not really. I have a lucky ball mark, but that changes from time to time based on putting. I mean, I really don't have it. I like to try and picture the shot before, so I'll try and stand behind the ball and picture. And if I will, 9 times out of 10, if I can picture the shot, I'll hit it. And when I hit a bad shot, it's because I couldn't even see what to do. And so I try and picture the shot in my head and then step to it.
Any rituals even on like the driving range? Do you have a certain?
It's probably a downside of mine is I don't have enough rituals on the golf range. I try to pick something to aim at, and I try to remember go for distances.
Certain clubs you hit?
No, I
Still,
hit everything.
so-
I always start with a wedge. I work my way up the ladder. I mean, that's I think what most people tell you to do. So you start with a wedge and you do a 9 and then 5 and 4.
One thing that I've seen, I played a lot of golf with you and watched you on the range a lot. It seems like if you don't hit a club very good, then you go to a different one.
Yeah, correct.
And you're trying to build confidence.
Yes,
correct?
correct.
You're like, if you grab a 4-iron.
I'll never start with 4.
Right, no, I know, but if you grab an iron and you don't hit it well a couple times, you're like, I'm going to another one because you need that confidence.
Yeah, I think once you feel, that's why I start with wedges too. And as I'm getting older, the first 2 swings hurt every time. I mean, I just dread them. I'm like,
No matter how much you stretch.
And so I don't even think about. I stretch and stretch and stretch, and I don't even think about the first 2 or 3. I just try to break up all the joints and everything, and then. But yeah, I start with the wedges, and if I'm not hitting a certain wedge, I'll go to a different wedge, and until I hit something pure, and then I'll try and work my way up, and then back down. But I always start with a wedge and end with a wedge. And yeah, if I'm pure in the 7-iron, I'll just keep hitting that to kind of get mentally right.
Go back again. When did you first start playing and why?
Oh boy, my whole family's golfer. Grandfather's golfer, dad's a golfer, brother's a golfer. So I think I was born into it. I started swinging literally before I could remember. I was hitting balls and trying to play, and it was frustrating because I couldn't play. That was back in the old days. Those guys, if you're a kid, you didn't play with a group.
No.
I mean, you can play behind us, you can play in front of
Yeah.
us, but just go walk and do your thing. So I started playing at 7 or 8. I think I started taking it seriously around 12, probably.
Yeah. Just a quick answer. Pin in or out?
Always out.
Always out.
Yeah, if I can see the hole, it's out. The only reason I want it in is if I can't see it, or I'm off the green and I intended. Only helps bad shots.
Yep.
And I don't like the view. You talk about mental. I don't like to see it on my peripheral on short putts either.
Yeah. Derek Wilman says, I don't want anything in that hole except my ball.
The ball. That's right.
Yeah. So, and I've heard statistics where they do test and they show that it actually does interfere with the ball hitting the hole
If
more
the
than
ball
not.
is slightly off center, it's going to knock it out more than it's going to keep it in, or even then it will go in and it will never keep it in unless it is dead center.
And I think you can see that on tour. Like, there's only a couple guys, when they first changed the rule, it was a lot of guys were using it back in, and then the statistics and the analytic part of it got back in the game, and they started taking it out. There's only a couple of them on tour that use it.
Now, this is a tough for a lot of people, but links or inland course?
Well, I like the inland looks better.
Yeah.
I probably play better on links.
That's
Yeah, I see him over
Jeff,
there.
Mr. Vineyard over
I
there.
trust him. Of anyone up here, I trust him to chip it
we didn't
past.
even flinch when he hit a club.
Yeah,
I mean,
didn't
yeah,
even
he's
move, yeah.
fine.
He's just trying to shake his competition.
Yeah,
out.
Yeah,
that's
he's
your
trying to,
competition.
that's mental games. He's good at those.
So links it is, or
I
inland?
like inland course is the best, but I score better honestly on links though.
Really? Do desert or mountain come more anywhere?
Man, I hate the desert.
Okay, that's what Mr. Jarman said.
Common theme.
Desert's my last.
Yeah,
Just
I
go for the
mean,
warm
I think
weather.
it's unlike Jarman, who hates the way it looks. I think it looks pretty, and I love the pictures I've taken, but it's just too tight. It's fairway or junk, and I'm not the most accurate.
All right, now between these two, Jack or Tiger?
Jack.
Okay, I see that. The Open or the Masters?
Wait a
Wow.
minute, can we go back to that?
Yeah, why I picked Tiger.
So he picked Tiger for the foursome.
Yeah, because I think Tiger was a better player, but I think Jack's more legendary. You know what I mean? Against his time, if Tiger prime and Jack prime, I think Tiger wins, but I think Jack, what he accomplished in his career is
In equipment, I mean,
Equipment.
Tim mentioned it earlier that the equipment is totally
The
different.
way they
and
took
Tiger-
care of their bodies.
Yes, and athletes are now playing golf.
Right.
When
That's
Jack
exactly.
Jack played,
people like me play,
There-
not athletes.
it was John Daly. Not saying he's not
Right.
an athlete, but they didn't take care of their bodies.
Let's-
They didn't.
They didn't lift weights.
No.
It's in every sport.
They
Look
didn't
at
wear
Lynn
tight
Dawson
shirts.
versus Patrick Mahomes.
And now you look at Rory McIlroy, who looks like a bodybuilder if he takes
Yeah.
his shirt off.
Yeah.
I mean, the game has totally changed.
But I
So-
think that's why I chose Tiger, because I would want to see
Witness that.
Right.
Yeah.
Jack's more finesse, and he was a competitor, and he did a lot of great things.
And they're both
And your history with Jack growing up. I mean, that was an icon. You're old enough to watch him, so there is something about that.
Of course, I rooted for Watson over Jack every time, and I didn't like Jack when I was growing up
Really?
because of the rivalry.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you get older, it's like you look back, I didn't like Larry Bird either, but it's look back and like, man, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was
Jack
good.
Jack was
Well,
impressive.
it's the respect part of it.
Yeah.
When you're a fan of a team or
Yep.
a player, you're not going to appreciate them until they're done playing, and then, like you said, you look back and
Right.
like Tom Brady, for instance.
Right.
Now everybody respects him, even though we hated him when he was playing.
Yep. Exactly. And this next question, I want broad spectrum on this. It's the Open or the Masters, and I want watching it. If you had to go there, just the whole. If you had to choose one over the other.
I'm always going to pick the Masters for everything. I'd rather watch it, rather go to it, rather play in it. all.
Really.
I just think it was a neat idea that they started, and they built that course, and the course is the most beautiful place on earth.
Yeah.
And you have been.
I have been to one, thanks to Jared Kenworthy and his family took me, and it was just everything I thought it would be and more. And then it's
Did you go to a practice round or a
practice round? We went to the Tuesday round, which the best part about Tuesday is you can take your camera, so I got a lot of really good pictures.
We went to a Tuesday round also, and that is nice. You can.
I think if I had my choice, I would pick Tuesday.
Oh, it's much easier to get around and
Yep.
everything else too. I figured it would be that. And now this is of all time favorite pro golfer.
I just Tom Watson. I mean, just because of his local, and he grew up. He was similar in age to my brother, and I just rooted for him really hard. And I'm telling you, it would have been the greatest sporting event ever if he'd have pulled that British Open.
Oh,
I mean, I've never been more emotionally invested in something.
it was exhausting.
Oh.
You was so into it. You're
But
like,
He
also
was so
proud.
amped up
Oh,
on that
yeah.
shot.
Even though he didn't win, it was
Yep.
still a proud moment.
Absolutely.
you felt like you felt like you were right there. with him.
Everybody
Like,
there was
oh
rooting
my
for him.
gosh,
it
yeah.
was,
And for somebody that's younger than you guys, even though I don't look like it, but that was one of my first memories and best memories of Tom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He was already winning Masters before I even started watching golf, because I didn't get into golf until late, until I was 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
So watching golf, I was the guy that was the kid that was making fun of people for watching golf,
Yeah.
and so I never watched it. And so that's my first great memory of Tom Watson.
And what I always liked about Tom, and I'll put Freddie Couples up there with several of them, they were always classy. They were always professional gentlemen, win or lose. They were always good quality guys out there.
Wouldn't even smoke on camera like Jack Nicklaus wouldn't smoke on
No.
camera, even though he was a 2-pack-a-day smoker.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I was in my 20s. So looking back as a kid, that probably meant something to not see Arnold Palmer smoking,
yeah.
Jack Nicklaus smoking. Those
Yeah,
guys all
they
smoked
all
off.
did back then.
Yeah,
They all
absolutely. Len Dawson in there.
Okay, now we're adding one more, and I'm going to get with the other people to answer this, because this is a good one that Buck brought up. Your favorite story or experience? I would say I want to try to limit it to an Excelsior, because we're talking King of the Hill in here, and I don't want you to say when you watched his hole-in-one on 4. Don't say that.
That was definitely.
That was Buck Byers.
that's
What year was
definitely
that?
not-
Was
That's
that?
definitely not in the top 10.
It was a good day.
It was a good day. Okay. Can you think of your best experience? Story, memory, whatever it is.
Boy, I don't have.
That's a tough one.
I mean, there's so many. Just of a fun one, I guess, was we know this course so well that when I was working here, Derek Wilmetz and I and a couple of other guys came out, and we threw our clubs over one shoulder, and we carried a cooler in the other shoulder, and we teed off about 10 o'clock at night in the dark with glow-in-the-dark balls and played 9 holes. And we all know this course so well that we could read the greens, basically, within reason, and I think I shot 45 in the pitch dark. So that was pretty fun.
Well, I worked here for a lot of years,
Yeah.
and we used to play a lot of cross-country golf and storms and stuff like that. They were great stories. And I want to get back to now you spoke of the old working here and everything else. In your lifetime, have you ever seen the course in such a good shape?
No, this is the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
Frank and I'm sorry, I apologize. Brian, yeah, the new guy's done just as well. We were all nervous when Frank left, I think, and Brian's been great. What really shows you what a greenskeeper, a good superintendent does is this course was in the worst shape I've ever seen it in my entire life, and Frank turned it around in a month.
Yeah.
I mean, a month.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it is now, but it was playable, and the greens were great, and so it's the best it's ever been.
I asked Tip Jarman this. In all your years playing here, what do you think the one thing they've done to the course improvement, changing, that has mostly benefited this course?
Watered fairways. I'm old enough to remember when they didn't have watered fairways.
Tim said that in Zoysia.
Yeah,
that was his too.
Absolutely, and I love playing on Zoysia. So yeah, I would say the watered fairways in the Zoysia. The Zoysia's made the course a lot longer because you don't get as much.
Yep.
And it's puts a bigger emphasis on hitting fairways, which is not my expertise. So, but that's the two big ones. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agreed with you totally. I always thought the Zoysia was a huge benefit. So you got the King of the Hill Saturday afternoon. You're playing. Weather's going to be tough this weekend.
Oh, so hot.
Yeah. What's your prognosis? What are you shooting for this weekend on your round? What's your optimistic on your rounds?
Optimistically, I would like to be under par on all my rounds, it's hard, but I've done it. I've shot under par on all 3, the 2 18s and the 9. I'd like to do that again. And that's a stretch goal, but I think I can do it. The biggest goal is to just be competitive.
Yeah.
And not do anything that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I understand that.
So what kind of shot do you think you have in the King of the Hill? Think you
Oh,
can win this thing?
No, I can't win it. I might win a couple skins, and I'd like to stay in it for a while. I don't think I realistically have a chance to win that in the actual horse race. But
Well, I think you do.
Yeah, lightning in a bottle. I play like I did in St. Joe last week, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah,
I got a putt. I got putt good.
Yeah, I've seen you out there where you're making everything you look at with putts, and that's a difference on the King of the Hill.
That's a big difference.
Because you're long enough where it's going to be your putt and it's going to be the factor on it. So
if I keep it in play, I got a chance.
I agree, and I tell you, Buck and I were really rooting for you. We're really happy you're playing in it. We are. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck. Good luck in the club championship as well. I know we saw our pairings. I get to be paired with you for Saturday, so I get to see you
You
go
get to see
try to the
Saturday.
first
Yeah.
step of winning the club championship. I know that's a goal in your life. So again, thank you. Appreciate
My
you
pleasure.
stopping by
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
and
Christopher.
really enjoy it. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're back, and we're talking about Jaron McLaren, the last but not least participant in the King of the Hill. He participated last year. He had an albatross on hole 1 in Trenton. I mean, you want to talk about people? A lot of these guys have hole in ones. An albatross is way more rare. I think that's awesome. He's played a year at North Central, and he placed 3rd in last year's King of the Hill. And again, he was a last minute participant. I think we had some people drop out and really showed well. Really showed how his talent, how long he is off the tee. If he can get off the tee very well, he's really got a chance to win this. But I think it's an honor for him to be in it, and so we'll be rooting for him, and he's got a chance to win it. So,
Oh yeah, very good, very
so
good.
with that, all the participants, who do you think is going to win this? This is our favorite part of these.
Okay. Am I betting just pure straight out? I think they're going to win.
Horse race win.
I go Jeff Vineyard.
Jeff Finner, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Austin. I think he's playing the best golf. I mean, he won the
He's
PGA
hot right
deal.
now.
Been playing well. I'm going to go with Austin. All right, you're a dark horse. Only one. You can only do one.
Chris Delano.
It's a good one. That was going to be mine, but I'm gonna go. I think Jaron. I've played with Jaron the last couple of weeks.
I was
Again,
close. I almost picked that.
He is playing really well. He shot 70 in the Colbert Bash opening day.
Yeah.
Then backed it up, I think, with a 72 with an emergency 18 after the Colbert Bash. And he's young. You know, it's gonna be hot on Saturday. He's gonna be playing 18 holes in the morning. And that 9 holes in the afternoon isn't going to bother him. Unlike Chris Delano, who's 51 years old.
He's 56 and he's going to be 57 in August.
That's right.
End of this month.
Right.
So I will be surprised if he makes it. But that's why he's my dark horse. I don't think a lot of people will bet on him.
Probably, I won't be. I won't be.
Look at his age. I mean, I think it's a long shot. So, but I'm betting on him.
Again, this is at 3:30 on Saturday, the 19th. Spectators are welcome. You get a cart. You don't have to pay for a cart. You just come out. Austin or whoever working the counter will give you a key. We just ask that when somebody is hitting a shot to try to be quiet. But other than that, come have some fun and root on your favorite golfer.
Yeah,
or against your worst golfer,
Yeah,
whatever you want to do.
I give a tip too if you're spectating. If you want to watch them hit the tee ball, after they hit the tee ball, drive right to the green. Because if you try to follow the golfers down there, you get log jam and then you start bothering them. Best thing to do is drive right to the green and get out of the way there.
And also,
watch it.
but at the same time, don't feel like if somebody will tell you, we'll put your hands
Yeah.
up to tell you to stop. And that's fine. Don't feel like you're getting
Yeah.
in the way or anything like that either. But want to thank you for watching this, and again, Austin, thanks for putting this on. It's a great event.
Yep.
So
Thanks for having us.